Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you the final checkout video of the second hot dog telephone that we received in from another telephone repair company that sent this and another hot dog in for repair. And since the other telephone, the other hot dog phone has been repaired and we've already done a final checkout video, now this is the second hot dog telephone, which was a little bit different kind of a hot dog, and now it's repaired, and we're going to kind of go through and do some final checks. And basically after all that, we'll have to put the hot dog back together again and try to cosmetically make it look good again from what we had to go through, and I'll explain that. But it's not uncommon that other telephone repair companies send in telephones for repair. We get them in all the time from other repair companies. And so basically on this hot dog telephone, we did an initial checkout of both of the telephones together, and this telephone in particular, what would happen with it was when you would try to dial out, sometimes it wouldn't dial out, and then if you held down the number, you would get what's called key bounce, and it might dial 4 or 5 2s and 4 or 5 6s or a couple of them, and it was just dialing at random. Sometimes it wouldn't dial at all, and then other times it would dial. There was some electronic noise, and they had written a note about this telephone having kind of an electronic noise once in a while, and but then it also didn't dial out. And the mute button, now this telephone dials out in tone and pulse. The other older hot dog that we repaired, the first one we repaired, only dials out in pulse. So with this telephone here, even though it's a tone telephone where your star and your pound would be, star is actually the mute, so it mutes the mic, it cuts the mic off, and pound is redial. So in reality, it doesn't have a star and a pound, even though it's a tone telephone. They just didn't have the extra buttons on this telephone to be able to have star and pound also. So I'm going to give you a look at this telephone. I don't want to tip it over too far, just for the simple fact that the buttons will fall out. And this is the hot dog that had the issue, and with being sealed. We had a lot to do to get this telephone out. It was very difficult. I went through, I lost count of how many X-Acto blades that we broke trying to get this telephone open, because basically it's sealed into this compartment, which is actually the hot dog. And so once they set the phone in here, it was sealed in. So however they molded this, they molded it around the telephone. And it was also kind of like what you would call glued in, because of the material that this is made of kind of stuck to the telephone. And it was just a real, you won't see any of this once it's put back together again, but you can see how it literally stuck to the telephone. And then the telephone was, it was not glued together, but it was held together by some standoffs that were actually like melted together. So basically, in a way, the telephone was kind of glued together too. So once we got it apart, or got it away from the hot dog part, we had to actually get it open, which that was a job in itself too. So it was a lot of work to get the telephone apart, but if we wouldn't have tried that here, then and we got the go-ahead from the other telephone repair company to try to cut this telephone apart and get it open. We've done other novelty type telephones that were sealed, but you know, most of them never have a back on it. This one actually had a back on it. Usually they just seal in the front compartment, and then you have your keypad in the front of the phone, and you don't see the back. So usually they don't put the back in, and then you don't have that extra added amount inside of the phone to stick to something. So it was a very difficult phone to get apart. But once we got it apart, we went ahead and troubleshooted it. And then what we found was, I thought for sure the way it was dialing that we would find a dirty keypad. But the keypad was clean. And although we will clean it before we put it back together again, it had never had a spill in it. It just was totally clean. And so then in our troubleshooting, we troubleshooted out that the tone generator IC was bad, and we replaced it. So here's the old tone generator IC, and that has since been replaced, and so has some solder that we didn't like on the main PC board, and just kind of general things that we go through and do. So that IC was changed, because in the initial checkout video, if you'd hold down one of the numbers, if it dialed at all, it would have key bounce to it. In other words, it would dial more than one number, like a couple of different twos, a couple of different ones, or it wouldn't dial at all. So it was randomly dialing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some checks on this telephone. I'm going to move the hot dog over a little bit because I want to plug this in. We're going to get some dial tone. I'm going to hold the hook switch down. We're going to go ahead and ring the telephone. I'll let that go a couple times. Now what we're going to do, and even from being a couple feet away from the telephone, you can actually see the indicator light pick up my modulation, my transmit. If you look at the analyzer, you'll see that's 100% modulation. Hello, 1, 2, 3. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to dial out here. We're going to go through the numbers. I'm going to go to 0, because there is no star and pound, and back to 2. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hang up. I'm going to hit redial. It'll end, go to a 0, 2, and then I'm going to hang up. Got dial tone. I'm going to walk through the numbers again. End in a 2. I'm going to hang up. Hit redial. It's going to end in a 2. Now you can see me transmit from this far away, because our microphone is pointed towards me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to go ahead and transmit or talk, modulate, and I'm going to hold down the mute key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See how that went away? 1, 2, 3. It's not showing up on the analyzer any longer. As soon as I let go of it, though, you will see it turn red again when I speak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to hold it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to let it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know that there's, it's got transmit. It's working properly now. And what we're going to do is I'm going to hang up. I'm I'm going to walk through the numbers one more time. Hang up, hit redial. It's going to end in a 2. I'm going to move the telephone over into a regular line, and I'm going to dial time and temp.
Good evening. Ford, drive one and you'll know at Offenburg Ford in Belleville and O'Fallon. Today is Wednesday, December 7th. The time is 11:58. Current temperature 36 degrees. Now the weather forecast for the Belleville area. Mostly clear tonight, lows in the low 20s, partly cloudy on Thursday, a high around 40.
So we know that this telephone is working. I'll dial my number.
The number you have reached.
Let me try that one more time.
The number you have reached has been disconnected or is no longer in service.
Okay, it used to be busy, but now it's coming 235 6959. Okay, I was hitting the wrong. There, it's busy. So we know the telephone is working. We'll go ahead and dial. Let's do time and temp one more time.
Good morning. Need service for your car today? Call any of our service departments or make an appointment online at Offenburg.com. Today is Thursday, December 8th. The time is 12 o'clock. Current temperature 36 degrees. Now the weather forecast for the Belleville area. Mostly clear tonight, lows in the low 20s, partly cloudy on Thursday, a high around 40.
Okay, so we know that the telephone is working now. I'm going to go ahead and move it back over into the analyzer. We'll check the dialing on it one more time because that was the issue. The electronic noise is gone, and the keypad is working properly now, and we don't have that key bounce. And so since the tone generator chip was bad in this unit, we had to go through quite a bit just to replace it. Just to get this telephone apart was quite a job. So let's go ahead and walk through the numbers one more time. And like I said earlier, this telephone doesn't have star and pound because star is mute and pound is redial. So we'll walk through the numbers one more time. We'll go to 2. I'm going to hang up. Hit redial. And it's going to end in a 2. As I transmit, and you see that red light on the analyzer is an indication of 100% modulation. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to hold down the mute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now I'm going to let it up, and you'll see my modulation again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know that's working. Ending in a 2. Redial. Hang up. And I'm just going to dial 2, 6, 2. Redial. There we go. So we know the telephone is repaired. And now basically what it comes down to is we're going to have to get the telephone back together again and try to cosmetically make it look like that it hasn't been opened up. And I don't know how successful we'll be. We repair telephones, so I'm not really big into the cosmetic issues. And people ask us all the time, do you want to totally take the finish off of this phone and refinish it and all this? I'm not into all that. We do some of it. I just am so busy. I don't really get into that part of it. We're more repair than anything, but so that's what we're so busy with, and that's what we're into mostly. But we'll see how it looks. Maybe I can get another video out of it when we finish up putting the telephone back into its hot dog mold here, basically. But it's a really cool telephone, and this other telephone repair company is basically waiting for this hot dog because they have customers that want both of them. So we'll get the telephone back out to them here as soon as we can, and we'll go from there. But this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.